大家好 ，Welcome back to Joe and Jay 微过绿的 with Jason。我们今天有一个特别的来宾 ，Joseph Lin。Thank you for coming. Hi， 大家好 ，Thanks for having me. Okay, Joe, you grew up in the States playing basketball as a point guard. Now you have 5 championships, Rookie of the Year, multiple first team, multiple second team, assist leader. How did you get here? How did you start your career? Well, I mean, it's a long story. Yeah, growing up I had a very fun childhood, I would say. I grew up in a very loving family with 2 amazing older brothers and 2 parents that cared a lot about family and God and just taking care of each other and loving each other. So I was very blessed to, grow up with the family that I have. I had a lot of good friends, definitely had a nerdy friend group and then like a sporty friend group. How? Because I grew up in the church. So growing up in the church was kind of more nerdy friend group. They're all Chinese like me. They didn't play sports really. We would play a lot of Nintendo together growing up. I would say that was kind of my gaming side. My gaming side was my brothers, but also a lot to do with my friends. And then school friends was my sporty friend group, just growing up playing all types of sports, a lot of basketball obviously. 外国人比较开放 and not as shy. My nerdy friend group, my church friends were obviously a lot more shy because their parents were like mine. A lot of tiger moms, like mine. My brothers always took care of me growing up. They got in trouble because of me a lot of times. Because if I do something wrong, then my mom will obviously get mad at me, but she'll also get mad at my brothers. Like, you need to teach him to not do blah, 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 blah. So she put a lot of responsibility on my brothers for how I turn out, I guess. So I think my relationship with my brothers had a lot to do with the parenting that we had. If ever me and Jeremy got in a fight, Josh was always there to back me up. But when Josh left, I had no one to protect me. Jeremy would always pick on me for random stuff, some my fault, but more often than not my fault. He just liked to get mad at me. And Josh wrote a letter to Jeremy. It was like, I'm really disappointed in you. Letting Jeremy know how let down Josh felt and like how disappointed he was in him and being like a crappy older brother. Ever since that, Jeremy changed a lot. He taught me how to work hard. Like, I didn't know how to work hard before. When he was in high school or even when he was in college, every summer we would work out together. Like, because I'm playing basketball for my team and he's playing basketball for his team. But he would always push me to wake up and work and like bring me to the gym. Like, yo, let's go work out. Like, he would wake me up and stuff like that. We obviously grew very close during his senior year in high school. So when he left for Harvard, I actually got really emotional and I cried all the way up until, like, my dad was driving me to school and I was still crying. And even when I got off the car, I was still crying. And right before I walked into my first class of that day, I was still crying. But I stood outside the door and I was like, look, you're not about to walk in at 8 a.m. crying. Everyone's gonna be like, what the hell is wrong with this kid? That's how close we got, and obviously he meant a lot to me. I don't actually remember the first time I touched a basketball because I was that young. We had a little hoop in the house, a little rubber basketball and a small hoop inside our house. We also had like a real basketball hoop in our backyard too. I remember the first thing they taught me in the backyard, both of them. I was super young. But the first thing they taught me was triple threat. A lot of people see my triple threat now, it's like, oh, like his jab step. I'm like, yeah, that came from my brothers. When I think about basketball and what they taught me, I just remember sitting in the backyard and they're literally teaching me a jab step. 交给林书緯，林书緯连续的4探步，这边下球转身，好地的 and one. So growing up, I always played shooting guard because when I was young, shoot around with my brothers or my dad, whatever, I always had shooting ability. Going into high school, I wasn't super tall, so I was probably like 5'11" or like 5'10" going into high school. The varsity coach was trying to transition me going from shooting guard to point guard. He coached varsity more than a decade or something like that. Won a few championships too, like state championships, which is really hard to do. He coached Jeremy too for his entire high school run. He started doing that my freshman year, sophomore year, and then after my sophomore year, the head coach left. and then we got a new coach, and then I was back to shooting guard. I think my previous coach saw that I had a good chance to become a really good point guard. It was very unfortunate that he left. Close to graduating high school, I wasn't looking at that many schools, because at that time I'm like 130 pounds, 125 pounds. I'm not jumping out of the gym, like not really dunking, and I'm Asian. My mom knew that I wanted to keep playing basketball, so she found an opportunity for me to do a prep year on the East Coast that let me get more exposure to East Coast schools. The prep school was like the first year that I actually really started to lift weights, which was tough because I didn't have a trainer and I didn't have anyone to really lift with. It was all like my first year away from home and like the first year where I actually had to like be disciplined by myself. I worked really hard to try to put on some weight. Because of prep school, I had a few East Coast schools looking at me. Hamilton, I went in and the coach that recruited my class left our first year. Like, we got there and then he's gone. Again, it's kind of similar to the high school situation where like the coach that wanted me there is now not there. I came off the bench my first 3 years. Even though a lot of players on the team believed that I should have been starting, that wasn't the case. You couldn't do anything about it except for working. You know, I was very appreciative of my teammates. Every year, they're always like, Joe, you can do it, man. You can start. Like, you have the talent to start. Like, we know you're good enough. My brother, you know, throughout the year was always pushing me too. So I have a lot of people that always believed in my ability and that always supported me. I would say a part of my success definitely is because of the people that support me.
And on the near side, it's Lin with one of his 2 hoops on the game. 72-62, Continentals win. They'll be the 8th seed in the NESCAC tourney.
I never considered playing pro until my senior year of college, probably. You can definitely call it my breakout year. I got a couple awards that year. I was averaging like 19-9 in my league because I didn't know that Taiwan was an actual option until I visited, because Jeremy would come back on his Asia trips and then realize, oh wow, like there's like a league here and like there's a lot of players. And when I did train, I was like, oh, I feel like I can actually play here, but I never considered it really up until that point. So.
林书緯这个夏天分别到台湾银行以及富邦勇士测试，都获得不错评价，很可能以华裔球员的身份加入 SBL 舞台。
Came to Taiwan in the summer, and then I worked out with Fubon, Taiwan Bank, and Puyuan at the time. Ended up choosing Fubon because the organization and situation I felt was the best for myself. I was just starting a new journey, and every time you start a new journey, you're just thinking about how can I achieve the next level.
全场还是缴出15分6助攻5篮板的优质数据，尤其最后7.1秒的制胜罚球，更帮助勇士以1分差逆转玉龙，拿下新球季首胜。
First, a lot of people thought I was only here because of my name, so I felt like I had a lot to prove. There was no like, oh yeah, I made it. Like, definitely not that feeling. In the first few years, definitely went through a lot of ups and downs with sometimes I come off the bench, sometimes I have really bad games. There are times where I ask myself, am I not that good at basketball? Like, should I keep doing this? Do I deserve to keep doing this? I think during those times, like, you have to rely on the people that support you. Definitely relied on God too. At the same time, like, when you go through those downs, you just have to keep working. Get in the gym even more. During practice, you work even harder, try to prove yourself even more so you can get that starting position. There's doubt, but there's also straight, like, let's get to work. I just get to Taiwan, I think my mindset is more like, let's go prove yourself now, because there's still a lot of people that doubt you. I got Rookie of the Year, I got Assist Leader, and I got First Team.
开心吗？
I gotta win this game. That's all I'm worried about. Definitely proved myself a little bit, but obviously there's a lot to improve because we didn't win. We made it to the semifinals, and we lost to Puyuan, who was very good at the time. I had a pretty good year myself, but I feel like I still have more goals to get, and I definitely want to win. Legacies are defined by winning.
收球少人，哇，又被林书緯给点掉。书緯3分线出手，又来一个。
That was my 4th year, 所以我觉得开始有一些表现 that separates myself from other point guards. I always have that mindset of proving that I'm one of the best players in the league. It's also that desire. I want to be one of the best players in the league.
这是林书緯今天的第40分啊。
I went through a lot of my ups and downs with that organization. We had a lot of highs, but I also had a lot of lows there. Definitely taught me how to fight adversity within myself, taught me how not to give up. I won 3 championships with Fubon. There's a lot of experience that goes into that and teaching you how to be a vet. I would say be very even-keeled, not get too high, not get too low. I always trusted myself, but I also relied on God. I think this was the first time where I kind of took a step away from God. In my eyes, I'm like, I'm gonna do it by myself. I'm gonna demand this trade because I feel like the situation, my previous situation just wasn't improving. You know, well, I'm gonna try to go into a different situation versus trying to keep on mending the past situation. At that time, I felt like, hey, I'm gonna take it into my own hands.
书緯今天的命中率也是高的吓人。推起3分外线的林书緯上手就切入碰到第2线的防守，照样打进。进攻跟比赛差1秒钟，林书緯切到禁区，身体一靠上去2分红线阵，而且就拔了。哎呦喂呀！林书緯 ，Are you kidding me？
There's no hate. I just wanted to prove to like people that didn't believe in me. Obviously, when we lost, a lot of the opposing players came up to me because we're really good friends. There's definitely a lot of emotion, and there's definitely a clip of me crying. Even my coach from that team, the head coach from that team, also embraced me after the game too. So there was a lot of, I think, respect. So the next year, Jeremy came. He wanted to play with me. I was definitely cool with him coming and playing together. Even though I knew my role would change a little bit, I think it's okay because I think we could make amazing memories together. That year was a lot of ups and downs, and we didn't have that good of a regular season. We ended up being 3rd place, I believe. A lot of people would say the regular season was a failure because you had someone like Jeremy's caliber. There's no way we should go down. So after that moment in game 2, in the Taipei Arena, obviously a lot of people felt bad for me. Like I said before, when I kind of took a step away from God. Throughout this whole process, though, my family has always been pushing me. Hey, like, come to church with us. You want to pray together? You know, stuff like that. And I was like, maybe later, another time. A lot of fans were sending a lot of Bible verses to me, saying like, keep your head up, or like, you know, God's still there for you. So I had a lot of Bible verses and messages, and obviously my family is saying the same thing too. So, like, you know what? I'm gonna talk to God real quick. So I talked to him, prayed a little bit, and then the rest is history. Looking back on it now, even though I thought that God still had a hand in all of that. Like, he never abandoned me, you know? Even though I, in a sense, abandoned him, God definitely didn't abandon me. So the next year, we won back-to-back championships. You know, when my brother came, we're 2 for 2. That's literally 100%. You can't draw it up any better than that. My role is gonna change a little bit this year. 回去到我第1年在国王的时候， more responsibility. I'm gonna have to lead more. That's the Joe that's gonna come back this year. That's what we're gonna need.
下一关心的是台湾篮坛的好消息，效力 TPBL 的新北国王后卫林书緯通过了 FIBA 国际篮球总会的审核，正式的取得本。
It feels good to be looked at as a local now, because a lot of people didn't look at me as a local before. So I'm finally a local now. You can't say anything. 我就是本土。 I've played 10 years in Taiwan now, my whole career. I think it's cool to be able to be eligible to play on the national team. Playing on a national team is everyone's dream. Being able to help Taiwan basketball a little bit, that will be really cool. And obviously the people that helped me get here and helped me be able to be a local along this journey, it's been a 10-year journey. There have been people that have also paved the way. A lot of thanks to a lot of people that have a lot to do with this. Joe, so 如果你可以 time travel, 你会跟10年前的你说什么？我会跟他说，珍惜 everything that you go through. The people that you go through the journey with, just appreciate them, make memories. 你会有很多低潮，可是你碰到困难的时候，那些困难的时候 ，it's okay, just keep working hard. 一直努力，一直相信你自己 ，and you'll be successful. 谢谢大家的收听，然后也谢谢我们的来宾 Joe. Thanks for making time for us. Thanks for having me. 谢谢大家，下次见哦。